this blew off the top of the deck, and I just wanted to look at it, and that is the spirit message that came to mind. Use that retrograde Neptune energy to dive deep into things that, we always think that other stuff is holding us back, and a lot of times it's true. A lot of other stuff out there in the world comes into our energetic sphere and kind of hinders some of our progress, some of our growth, some of our endeavor. But so much of the time, y'all, it's us. It's our beliefs. It's our limited beliefs in ourselves and what we can accomplish. It's especially that. I mean, that's my big deal. That's my big deal. My big message to you every time I come on is to kind of remind you how amazing you are, and your capacity is huge. And I know that a lot of times we kind of get beat down in life by circumstances, but that's not what they're there for. They're not there to browbeat you. And life is tough. Let's all grow up about that. Life can be very tough, but advanced studies tells us that we bring those things to ourselves. So if you can remember that, maybe you won't feel so put upon by life, and it would allow you to open up enough in this energy to go and dive deep and kind of just be real. Yay! Be honest with yourself. What is it really? Really look at it. Something's wrong with my hair. Look at what you're telling yourself. Listen to yourself when you're talking to yourself. Think about how you limit your own ability to expand in your world by these new concepts that keep hitting you from the outside, or these old long-held beliefs that are no longer serving your purpose, and just start to do the work of replacing those thoughts. And it is daily maintenance, my friend. It's daily maintenance. It's hourly maintenance. Okay, let's be real about that one. But anyway, we got a big full moon coming up just in a couple of days. I'm not sure of the exact date. I don't even know what sign it's in, but just rest assured with those oh man, we got a book that came out. Let me just start over. I want to pull a card from this deck. It's the Light Seers Tarot deck, and for some reason, since that one jumped off the deck, it was like, hey, use me first. So give me some attention. The deets with the full moon. The full moon is boisterous. It moves your water, which is your emotive thing. And just try real hard not to stay triggered when you get triggered. Because let's face it, we all get triggered. I'm the queen of cool. So I think. But I get triggered every freaking day by something, okay? So, no, that's another book, y'all. Let me give this a little bit of a shuffle. So, the key is it's like not to try and like dodge all the bullets. Sometimes you have to take a little shrapnel in life. It's about pulling it together, getting the pieces out of you, healing yourself. Heal thyself and move the heck on, okay? And we can trigger ourselves. That was a spirit message from yesterday, and I wanted to come on, but it was impossible in my world for me to make that happen. We talk about how other people poke us and situations poke us, and we're watching news or whatever it is that pokes our emotions, and we get triggered, and we're, and then there's a couple of hours down the road that we're not paying attention to our own world. We're paying attention to something that absolutely has no real value to us. Okay, but so much of the time we do it to ourselves, and maybe that was the key to my opening message about paying attention to your own thoughts. I think that was this video. It could have been the one I just did, but pay attention to your own thoughts. Be the monitor. No one can do that for you. You cannot wait for a guru to take you off the ledge. You have to recognize that you just did that to yourself, because I was talking on another video just a couple videos back about how we think of something really neat and it makes us feel really good, but instantaneously that thought can so easily just fall into a negative experience, a negative memory of an experience, and then we're concentrated on that rather than that positive thing that we were trying to dial in on in the first place. It's our job to bring us back, to pull us off the ledge, to flip our switch when that trigger goes off, whether we do it ourselves or whether we don't. And that's what that Eight of Swords is. It's like you might think that you're being oppressed by this and by that and by that person and whatever from birth or whatever. That's what of mine. It's like I was born into pretty much nothing, and that's been my story. Well, change your story. It doesn't matter where you start, it just matters where you finish, and where you finish is all up to you. Okay, I know you don't want to hear that. Maybe you need to hear that. We all need to hear that this life is our responsibility. We're all put in circumstances in the beginning, well, advanced study says we do that to ourselves, but we won't go there because that's kind of a lot of responsibility to foot for the average human being, and we're all pretty average, but we're all average, but we're all magnificent. Okay, we're not mere humans. So don't let yourself off the hook with that, like, well, I'm supposed to be mad because blah, 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 blah. The longer you stay in that little position, that's called victimhood. And the longer you're making yourself a victim, Eight of Swords energy, the more of a chance you have of bringing more circumstances to your life and to your experience that make you feel exactly like that. Okay, so don't do that. All right, we did get a couple out, y'all. The Seven of Cups and the King of Cups. King of Cups. He's a heavy manifester. But the thing with the King of Cups, with all of the cups, this is about your emotions. You got two. There you go. Very emotional time coming up. Maybe you're in it now. A lot of the time the drag of the full moon is way ahead, just like new moons, and it will ramble on afterwards too. So the King of Cups for me, the guy is a ruler. Obviously he's the king. He has a lot of empathy, and he is in command of his emotion, his emotional reactions. And that's what we've been kind of discussing right here, right now, from the very beginning. It's about tapping into your King of Cups energy and knowing that it's your job to keep yourself steady no matter what the waters are like around you. Let's face it, for everybody across the board right now, the world is crazy. I mean, supercalifragilistic crazy right now. Okay? Choppy ass waters everywhere, but the King of Cups reminds us that we do have the ability to stay solid. And for me, the Seven of Cups is like all these options you have of where you place your focus. Be purposeful about where you put your focus, because that's what's going to set up these thoughts in your mind, and these thoughts in your mind are what drive your emotions. Well, your emotions, how you carry your energy, that is how you manifest everything else to come. Okay? So, I mean, can't make it up. You're here, I'm here. We all know what we just pulled is the King of Cups. First it was the Eight of Swords, self-imposition, self-made restrictions, I don't want to say delusion because that sounds kind of clinical, but we do that to ourselves, and we let those things spin out and go on and on and on. When you get triggered, whether it's inside because of something that you're thinking about or whether it's from something outside, remember that your focus is your domain, and that you can king your cups. You can king of cups your way out of pretty much anything. Just tap into that strength. You have it. You're the king or queen of your own deal. So pick it up, take the baton. Right now, Source is telling you, if you're watching this video, that it is time that you're the master controller. You are the one. You're the curator. You're the director. You're the producer. You're the star. And it's a colossal, shameful waste of your energy and your future if you continually allow all of the choppy waters around you or inside you to dictate how you consistently feel. Okay, and it is your choice. Seven of Cups. Let me show you. Let me show you these beautiful cards. I love this deck. They're beautiful. Kind of islandy. Yeah, I like the islandy thing. So you got choices. You see this guy, he's like, do I look at this or do I look at that? And one of these cups is water flowing out of it, which is high emotionality. And then there's one with a little snake and one with a little bat. You keep your eyes open. Be deliberate, be on purpose, know what you need, know what you want, and kind of train your sights and your focus and your attention on that. As easy as it is to be distracted, it's our job to keep ourselves in line. That's what they call alignment, is concentrated energy on what makes you feel good. I know it's not easy. Hey, you can't imagine what I go through in a day. I know it's not easy. Well, I want to look at the Power of the Elements Oracle deck really quick. Okay? And just see what it is that we can tap into elementally. Like, do we need action? Do we need a fire energy? Do we need to ground ourselves? Do we need to bring in some of our earth energy? Which kind of, it wouldn't surprise me if we did get an earth card, because that would make sense with all the water that we've just gotten. To kind of steady ourselves, know that we can be in control if we want to be in control. And, if we want to be upset, we can be upset. It's okay. But again, the longer that you stay in that vibe, the more of a chance that you have, because you are the master manifester, of manifesting more of that for your future. And and I'm not poking at anybody, but I know that there's this phenomenon of people who, or of an emotionality, a place that people go to where they're just kind of connected and hooked on being pissed off, or being sad, or having some sort of animosity vibe, and I don't even know what to tell those people. I don't. Because to tell somebody, like that, tap into your joy. Of course, you just give them what they want. They just get mad about that shit. They're not hearing any of that. But let's see, and there's also a spirit card in here. We might need to get all spiritual. And we could do that easily with that retrograde Neptune energy. So let's see. Thank you for being here, y'all. If anything makes you smile or clicks for you on this video, please hit the thumbs up. It just helps me get more seeing, more exposure. It's kind of hard. It's a huge sea of great content on YouTube, and it's not a cakewalk to do what we do. And mad respect all the tarot readers, because they do what I do times 12 and more. But I'm so happy to be here, and I appreciate you. You are very much loved and appreciated. Okay, well, damn. We got more water, y'all. Okay, this number 10 card, which means there is a pinnacle, there is a culmination. We're about to start over. 10 turns into 1. That's the Fool in the tarot deck. That's where we start over. So get some new information. Don't start over in the same old vibe. What's the point? Okay. Expression. Express your truth, especially to yourself. Use some of this retrograde energy to sit with yourself and get real. Talk to yourself. Talk to spirit. Talk to whatever it is. Talk to your tree. Talk to your plants. Tell them how you feel. Tell yourself how you really feel. And then once you do that, sift through that and see how you can, everything that we feel is malleable. We can manipulate everything that we feel by changing what's up here. And that's just a decision. Okay? But it is our work. It's nobody else's work. So you can't sift through YouTube and hope that somebody else is going to make you feel better, except for this video. It's not lasting. That's all I'm saying. It's not going to be lasting, but it will be lasting if you actually go in and do the work yourself. Excuse me. So there you go. Hammer time. We pretty much just got hammered with the fact that it's going to be a very emotional time, and you know that, you know. I don't have to point it out. You can go to any channel, any news source, anything right now, and you'll be barraged with the crazy antics of the world. Okay, well, great. That's what's going on out there, but what's going on with you? That's what you need to look at. Expression, express your truth. In the last reading that we had also, there was a nudge by Spirit to start standing up for yourself, start being more authentic, and let the bodies hit the floor. I love that song. Let the bodies hit the floor. I don't know why I love that song. I like Miss Jazz, but I really love that song. Let the bodies, but just let it fall where it may. Because whoever is going to leave because you're being authentic, and you know, again, like I said the last time, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's how you carry your vibe. Be gentle of spirit, be kind, tap into your compassion. But first and foremost, have compassion for yourself. I'm telling you. And you know what happened to me in the last couple of days, which is so weird because it's just not part of my new nature. I was running some anger. And then I realized when I did what I did my homework, I realized I was mad at myself for a couple of things that I was doing or that I wasn't doing. Yeah? Well, that just made me mad with everything else. So that's why it's so important to go and do our own work first, because my little with myself was like leaking into my circumstance, and it was creating the same type of vibe with other people in my world. You know, and yes, I could put off some of that. I could say, well, that blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. But the source, if I'm being honest with myself, and I have to, because that's the only way to grow, the source was me. And I did some quick fixes. I did some quick regiment changes. I started to feel better about myself. And the minute I felt better about myself, my world around me smoothed out. Okay? But it's our work. Again, life is not, you don't just coast through life and expect it. It's just like a relationship. Sometimes it takes a little work, right? You can't expect the other person to do all the heavy lifting. It's synergistic, and it's the same thing with yourself. If you let the ego, the scared one, the fearful one, the one that won't take chances, the one that won't budge off of old dictum, the one that likes everything the same, if you can let that one run, if you don't balance it out with the other spirit in you, the wiser self, the kinder self, the more stable, the more King of Cups, emotionally secure and in control, then you're left side high. All right, and if you know that song reference, put it in the comments. I'd love to see who you are. Okay, these are the grace cards. Obviously, I just shuffled those. We don't usually get them like this, so I'll probably end up having to fan spread them. We'll just do this real quick and see if we get anything. And I love these because they're just non-denominational. They're just going to give us some overall something to focus on, something that can elevate our vibe so that we can get all this other work done. So I'm going to do the fan spread. And the way the pick is because it kind of jumps at my finger. There's like an electricity or a heating, and it could be either finger too. So I just let it do it. I got one. I can get the exact one. Whoa. Looks like we got some homework to do. Yasha. These are really old too. Sorry about that. But I love them. And they don't make them anymore, so it's not like I can go out and buy them again. Silence. Heavy intuition these days. Okay? Silence. Be still. A daily practice of silence bears gifts. A heightened sensitivity to beauty, which makes you feel good. Okay. Inner peace, and a profound feeling of connectedness to all living things, which is what we need so desperately. We get connected to our watches, and we get connected to our computers, and we get connected to all our little toys. And we forget about the grass and the trees and the breeze and the sunshine. That's why I feel really blessed to be able to come out here and do some readings for you guys from out here. And I want to do it more because it's like that moment where we can get together and we can be out here. Even though, I know we're on the thing, but, it is a healthy reminder to remember that you are an organic being and you need that. Yourself needs that connection. More so today than ever, just kind of look at it, be truthful about that. How much time do you spend inside versus outside? When was the last time you went outside and just stood and looked at the sky? That is major connection, especially with this moon. I suggest that you do that with that moon. We're all going to do that with that moon, okay? Wherever you are, just go outside, even if she's hiding in the clouds. That vibe, that frequency, that connection will do some really good things for you, your psyche. It might open your mind, might facilitate digging out, uprooting some of that stuff that's just dragging you down. And again, like I said, it's not always something from outside. It's not always. Memories can do that. Grudges can do that. Get rid of that stuff, you guys. Just get rid of it. If it's not here, it's not real. It's gone. I hope I don't get bonked by an avocado. Here, let me put this on my cards. If it's not in your face, it's not here. It's not here. It's not here. It's now is the only place to be. Dial into now. Okay, so if you're being bugged by memories, if you're being bugged by grudge, if you're doing that, if you're harassing yourself with thoughts about what has gone on in your life, well, stop it. Okay, and the only person who can do that is you. Go into a silent place. Go into a silent time. Set yourself up in your life somewhere purposefully to get quiet and let Spirit say what Spirit wants to say to you. Because you don't have to be religious. Spirit will come to you. Spirit will tell you. Spirit will just replace some of that rambling that's going on in your head, that's been going on in your head for 1,000,000 years, and something fresh will come in. And like Chris Reck on Minnow Pond Tarot said one time, he was like, take these moments of inspiration. Like if you're like prompted to go watch some movie and you go watch the movie, you never know where the messages are going to come from. But that's your personal time. That's your personal space. Take that for yourself. Okay? Thanks for being here, y'all. If I can come back on and talk about that moon, I will, but I will definitely check in with you and see how you're doing after we get the hit. I don't know. Keep yourself safe, take some time for yourself. Try and direct your own focus and don't let yourself be dragged around by the machine and by others' reactions to the machine and what's going on out there, because it is definitely a drama designed to take our focus away from ourselves. Okay, it just is. And it's our job to keep our focus on our own lives and on our own progress and on our own happiness. Okay? I love y'all. Thank you for being here. I'll see you soon.